This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now on dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and another half a dozen radio stations across the nation today. And you can watch the program today if you choose to on Facebook.com/Armed American Radio, Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Greg in Dallas, Texas, how are you today from the CZ Studios in front of the Patriot Mobile mic?
I am doing pretty good, TGI Friday.
It is the beginning of your favorite day. I got to tell you, thank you for sending beautiful weather up here.
You're welcome. We're sending you some rainy stuff in a day or two.
Yeah, well, supposedly tomorrow, but that's okay. We'll worry about that tomorrow. That never stops the cookers and smokers and fun.
No, of course not.
Just
not
makes,
in my house.
Makes it a little more fun. Where can everybody tune in, turn on, whatever that used to be from years ago?
Do something like that?
Something like that. Where can everybody tune in outside of Facebook.com and let you do your spiel there and tell people where they can participate in the chat? We'll get cracking today.
All right, sure. Yeah, other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. You can head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, and then select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, if you'd like to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
I appreciate that. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Make sure to join them at nra.org/AAR. More about that coming up. Danielle Buck from Patriot Mobile. Danielle, we love you on the program. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you today, Mark?
I'm doing great. You looking forward to a great weekend, I hope?
Yeah. We're headed out of town tomorrow with the family just to see other family that we don't ever see, so it'll be great. Yeah. Been a heavy week, though.
It has been. And when you said you were heading out of town, I thought you were going to tell me you were going to go somewhere at another convention because you guys don't stay firmly planted anywhere. So I'm glad
we have been on the road a lot. You are correct. No, we actually, we go to a lot of events normally, about 120 to 150 events a year. But this year we added Jason Aldean and sponsoring his tour. And so our travel has increased incrementally. I think we have 36 stops with him. But this is an off week, so I guess he wanted a vacation this weekend for Labor Day as well.
How many concerts? I got to ask, how many concerts have you been to?
Oh, probably like 8 now. Yeah, and maybe 9.
You get to hang backstage, don't you?
We do.
Do we drop?
It's been really cool.
It sounded like I lost you there for a second. Let me say that one more time. So you get to hang backstage, right?
We do get to hang backstage. Yes, we do. And they're just such wonderful people. Salt of the earth. They just obviously happen to be famous and make really good music that a lot of us like to listen to. But just people that care about the same things that Patriot Mobile cares about, obviously, like faith, family, and freedom. And they're just cool. It's been real fun, for sure.
All of which is under attack this week again. And we're going to go here with you because you guys are, as from a corporate standpoint, I don't think I've ever met another company that supports the Second Amendment as overtly as you do. That's a fair statement, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yes.
So you said this was a heavy week, and it was a very heavy week. Tell me why Danielle Buck thinks it was a heavy week. Let's start the conversation there. We all know why, but let's delve into this a little bit.
Sure. Well, a week and 2 I sent my 5-year-old to his first day of kindergarten at a small private Christian school. And so when I saw the headline the other day, my heart just dropped.
Oh, I know.
I mean, obviously it wasn't in the same state or anything, but just, feeling for those moms and those children.
It's awful.
And, you think it's a safe place. Yeah. And so I think it's just been heavy for me to think about, it totally could have been my son or someone that I know and love very closely. And, we should have compassion and empathy for these moms as they're dealing with the unthinkable. And then also, why is this happening again? Yeah. And, then I've been listening and I think weighing with it myself, as a mom and just seeing the way the left has obviously responded as well on social media, it's kind of hard to escape it, right? And of course, they play the same narrative every single time.
Every time. I can hear it in your voice, by the way. I just want to let you know, I can sense the emotion in your voice because it is.
Yeah,
I'm a parent
it's
too.
real, isn't it?
It's
not
very
contrived,
real.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I want my children to be protected to the same level that we protect our celebrities, our politicians, our money. Like, why on earth is there not an armed guard at every single school in this country?
That is
not that expensive.
No, it's not in the scheme of things, and that is the billion-dollar question. And we've been asking that
Mm-hmm.
question here for years, and particularly whenever there's an event like this that occurs, and it happens too frequently. There's no question about it. But did you happen to see? Could you bring yourself to watch any of the videos of this monster before they were taken down?
I watched a few on X the night that it all happened, and honestly, I just started weeping.
It's evil on earth.
Yeah. Deeply disturbing, obviously, with a lot of mental problems. And it just makes you think, like, how did a person become like that? Like, rewind, like, what happened in their life? What have they ingested? What have they been watching, both, like, from being idolizing these other mass murderers or the medications that they're on? Like, looking at the full picture, I think we can't just take one aspect of it. We have to look at the whole thing as the mental health and emotional health of this person. And I watched it, and then I just thought, come, Lord Jesus. I mean, quite frankly, like, as a believer, I think that you sometimes get to a point where you can only ingest so much of the horror, and then have to remind yourself, like, that is true, and we need to pray for, the families, but then also, like, kind of bringing yourself back to your reality, and just honestly pray for revival in this country and want the Lord to save more souls. Because, when you see evil like that, when you see those videos and you watch it, you look in that person's eyes and you think, I don't know what I could have done as a human being that could have stopped that. Probably nothing. Now, could the power of the Lord? Absolutely. Could a gun in the hands of a teacher or a guard? Absolutely. But, we can say what if about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, like, we're just saying what if because we were not there,
Yeah, and a gun in the hand of a good guy, we're not going to know because there wasn't one there. And
right.
We do know, we saw at the Walmart just a couple months back, that a gun in the hand of a good guy does and can stop these things. Now, this guy, the church, I grew up Catholic, that hit home for me because when I was that age, I did that. That's what I did at a Catholic school when I was a kid. And I remember Sister Mary Walschlager. I'll never forget her. It was not an easy name.
I went to Catholic school too. That's funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get that. And, I sat where those kids sat when I was that age, early on in school. And I think back about how that was never a fear of ours when we were kids. And we had just as many guns in America per capita as we do now. And some would argue maybe even more. And we don't see this evil. Evil's always been there, right? Evil is real.
Yeah.
And, but I sense, and I kind of want to go here with you, I sense something turning around here. People are beginning to get a sense of what has to happen to stop this. So let's take this, what's going on with crime in D.C. Donald Trump goes in there and says, that's it. There's a new sheriff in town, and we're going to end this madness. We're going to end it now. D.C. went 12 days, statistically nearly impossible, without somebody killing somebody in Washington, D.C. Residents feel safer. Businesses feel safer. And anybody that's honest that's walking around D.C., and I've talked to a number of people who feel that way. I have family that lives up that way. And they all feel safer. So when you combine that with then seeing the face and voice of Satan, literally, you get this sense that people say, that's it. This can be stopped, and we owe it to not just ourselves, but to our kids and to our future to stop this. And I think that there's change coming. Now, I don't know how that's going to manifest itself in the short run, but I'm with you on that. I still can't understand why every school doesn't have armed security. I still can't understand that, church or not. Churches of all places know that evil is real.
Sure.
So I don't.
Yeah, it is baffling that, we protect other things that are valuable,
Right.
Just think about, like, going to the bank to get money out, right? Like,
Right.
I think about simple things that we do every day, and, like, there is armed security to protect these valuable possessions. Obviously, politicians thinking about getting through anywhere. whether it's a state capitol or wherever. Like, or celebrities. Like, how many bodyguards and armed security do they walk around with? And so it's just kind of the irony of it all. And obviously, too, I think the other half that I didn't stress on earlier of not just having an armed security guard, but all of these happening in gun-free zones. Like, are we going to address that?
Yeah, we're going to address that. You and I are going to address that. I know Greg is going to tell me in a minute. Here we go. We're taking a break in 10 seconds. When we come back, I want to go there because you obviously get it. It's like, Danielle, it's like you're living in my head right now today because we are going to go there. These are killing zones, ladies and gentlemen. And this week, yet again, proved it. It proved us right. I also want to talk about some of the reactions to the left that are now beginning to pour out in the days following what happened. And there's a lot to cover. There truly is. We've got one more segment with Danielle Buck from Patriot Mobile. We'll tell you a little bit about Patriot Mobile as well. And then Paul Markel, student of the gun, for 2 segments. We'll be back. Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show indeed. It's a great rejoiner. The timing was perfect for that. We're talking with Danielle Buck from Patriot Mobile. We'll talk a little bit about Patriot Mobile real quick and then get back to our conversation. But I do want to let you know that if you're watching on your devices, this is a Patriot Mobile activated phone, and you can do the same thing by visiting patriotmobile.com/AAR, patriotmobile.com/AAR, and when you do that, you're going to get a free month. And as I've said repeatedly many, many times over the last year and a half, you do not need to move all your phones at once. I know a lot of people owe money on their phones, but they've got a solution to that too. And all of that is available for you at patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com/AAR, and you will get a free month. And if you owe up to $500, you'll get a credit up to $500. So if you got 4 phones you want to move at one time that you owe $500 on, you're going to get a $2,000 credit on your bill. So you're not going to pay a cell phone bill for quite a while. So you can do that. You can do it piecemeal, however you choose to do it. But you're listening to Danielle Buck. This is a company that supports your Second Amendment, supports your First Amendment, supports all of your constitutional rights at the core of their corporate mission. That's what Patriot Mobile is all about. Let's go back to Danielle Buck from Patriot Mobile. Danielle, it's great to have you here as always. So tell us real quick about Patriot Mobile, then I want to get into some of the gun-free zones with the limited time that we have left with you.
Yeah, sure. So, Patriot Mobile is simply a cell phone service provider, as you just mentioned. And I think the really beautiful thing about our company is that we're mission-based. And so we are a conservative Christian company that is fighting to uphold the things in our Constitution. So as you just said, like from our inception almost 13 years ago, it has been to fight back and to use, a little tiny portion of a bill that everyone pays every month and to use it to fight for the values that you and I believe in. And so that is, those fall within our 4 pillars. And so that's the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. And so we don't just say that we do those things, like we actually do them. That's actually my job. I'm the VP of Strategic Partnerships. And so to figure out how we can lock arms with these organizations that are in those 4 pillars and use our resources at Patriot Mobile to fight back and to try to grow, to try to win, if you would, more people to our side. I think by, having a winsome and truthful argument, which we do, right? It's not even an argument, it's the truth. But we do that in a way that we really try to show people that it's like feet to action. It's not just, we throw money at something. And so, yes, I saw you, I guess, just recently at the Gun Owners of America convention, which was awesome. And I got to speak at the women's luncheon and got to sponsor that and really encourage women, because I think that's a kind of for the most part, I live here in Texas, and women, for the most part, view it as like, oh, my husband can do that. He can carry the gun. And I have to say, I was that person about 6 years ago. And so Patriot Mobile is like, hey, how can we actually encourage women to be trained, to be educated about, their Second Amendment rights, and what does it mean to shall not be infringed? Like, and really look at not just the Constitution, but also the practicality of it. And so, we at Patriot Mobile do that. And I think when people ask me, Danielle, that's awesome. I love your mission. I love what y'all are doing. I see you all over social media supporting veterans and doing these kind of things. I'm like, yeah, we do that. I'm like, why aren't you on Patriot Mobile? And they always have some reason. And I always say, it only takes 20 minutes. I promise you, it only takes 20 minutes. And we have the same exact networks as the major carriers. So your phone's going to work the same. I promise you are not going to lose on anything. And if the kind of the contrary is, you're actually going to have better customer service because we don't outsource to another country. So you're talking to an American you can understand, who will pray with you or just, wish you having a wonderful day at the same time as, preparing for your, obviously, a holiday in Italy or wherever you're going if you need to call us or get another phone for a teenager or whatever it may be. You're talking to someone you can, relate with and understand. And so that is such a piece of our company that I think that, we talk a lot about the mission, which we should, right? Because the mission is what drives us. But there is a piece of practicality. It's like, it only takes 20 minutes. We have the same great networks, and you're talking to an American you can understand right here in our country. So.
Yeah, and when Lisa answers the phone, she's really Lisa from Texas.
That's right.
I joke about that a lot. It really is Lisa. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to do this without mentioning any competitors' names because it's really not necessary. But, hey, folks, try to get that level of service with and and you're not going to get that level of service from any of those other companies that you're going to get with Patriot Mobile. So I hope you figured that one out. I'm sure you probably did. All right, you
Very creative.
that little creative. There you go. That's a spot for you, right? Okay, so let's go to gun-free zones. You hit the nail on the head with that, but I am sensing a shift, and part of what it is making me feel the way I feel about this is, look, I'm no rookie here, okay, and I certainly don't have my head in the sand. The left is never going to stop. They're going to continue to attack, and we're seeing that now, particularly in the days after what happened. The calls for gun control, the calls for banning a particular weapon, one of the three, but not the other. So they must be okay with the other two. They're just not okay with that one that they demonize. But now you had on MSDNC yesterday, and you also had some similar talk over on CNN LOL, ladies and gentlemen, where they come out and they begin to say the quiet part out. Right now, we just got to start taking guns. We got to do what Australia did. We've got to start taking guns. Yes, that includes handguns. And the guy said, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail. Well, you're not going to get any hate mail from me. We're just going to call you out on it, and I'm going to say thank you for saying the quiet part out loud, because we all know that's what you want to do anyway. But I sense a shift in the country. I do, because the Democrats are so far back on their heels right now, Danielle. They got nothing, and defending crime in D.C. is not a platform to run on. Defending illegal, you don't know this, but my daughter was just hit by an illegal immigrant who had a driver's license from Illinois, completely destroyed her car a week ago yesterday. I left the studio literally right after the show ended when I found out about it to get there, and found her car completely totaled. Okay, so it hits home. And I think people are beginning to cut through what I would refer to as media fog over the years. The gaslighting has been so heavy and so thick. I think Americans are at a turning point. I think the ship has turned. I think we've said enough is enough. And I do think you're going to start to see some change here. Could I be just overly optimistic, Danielle?
No, I think you're right, because the left only has the emotional narrative, right, that they're using, obviously, this week in a horrible way. They're literally playing on moms like me's emotions who are worried about our own children at a different school down the street, and yet they're twisting it. But that's all they have. And so I think that's why we see them increase, on every single person I see, it seems like, on social media, this crying, the TikTok, you name it. I'm just kind of like, it's the same, but it is effective. But if we look at it and say, take a step back, it's just emotion. It's truly just an emotional narrative to use fear, and which I'm not going to lie. The next day, dropping off my child, there was an element of fear, And so they're using real emotions that we have, but they're using it in obviously a very hard way. And so I totally agree that their shift is happening, because the left doesn't have anything besides it. And so, we do have to have those conversations of, okay, what could have actually prevented something like this from happening? And as I said earlier in the segment, is I really do think it's, arming the schools, protecting our children just like we protect other valuable things in our country. And also looking at how many of these shootings are happening within gun-free zones, and then saying, okay, can we do something about that? Because I think if we can use, hey, look at the numbers, look at the stats, and also a winsome argument of, hey, we can make a difference.
We are going to make a difference. We absolutely, it's a great place to stop. We are going to make a difference. Danielle Buck, we love you here on the program. Fan favorite for a reason. Thank you, Danielle, for being here. We'll talk with you in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure, and we appreciate it. Patriot Mobile, ladies and gentlemen, has your back. Has your back. We'll be back with Paul Markel, student of the gun, right after this. Thanks, Danielle. I was not watching the clock on that when I was getting ready to jump on something that she said and follow up on it, and then boom, I hear that. I hate when that happens. Guys, we'll be right back after the break. Mike's the camera's up.
All right, I got him.
Good deal. The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. That's something real simple you can do, ladies and gentlemen. nra.org/AAR. And when you do that and you join or renew, either one, take your pick. If you've let your membership lapse, many of you have, come back home. We're asking you to come back home. That's exactly what I'm asking you to do. Join this new National Rifle Association or rejoin this organization. They are doing God's work. This is the real deal. Great management over there, great personnel, great staff, and litigating across the country on your behalf. And we need your support. It's as simple as just becoming a member. 1-year member. You can try us out. $35 to do that. I'm going to send you a range bag for a 1-year and 3-year membership or renewal. And 5-year to life membership, we're going to send you the binoculars, the 10x42 binoculars with the lens caps and the case and all that fun stuff. And you got your hat in the ring, okay? It's that simple, and it's very, very important to do. All you've got to do is go look at the responses from the gun-hating zealots on the left, yet again dancing in blood after what happened in the Catholic Church in Minneapolis a few days ago. But make no mistake, they're not going to stop. So we have to stay a step ahead of them. And one of the first things you can do is make it real simple. Just join the NRA. It's that simple. You're not going to get hounded for money. If you're getting emails you don't want them, just cut them out. Just join. We need you on the rolls. It's that simple. NRA.org/AAR. And you can check out all of our great partners. BudsGunShop.com. Got one of my favorite Buds Gun Shop shirts on right now. Love these things. Got a bunch of them. BudsGunShop.com. BudsGunShop.com, our exclusive online retailer. They have everything you want and need, and you need and want everything they have, I can promise you. So visit BudsGunShop.com. And all of our great partners, you can find them all at ArmedAmericanRadio.com. Paul Markel, student of the gun. So we're going to close out the week with you. We've had you on a couple times this week. And now we get to see, Paul, the fallout. I was looking forward to talking with you about this today since we spoke earlier in the week after everything happened. Now we see the continued fallout. Now we see MSDNC and CNN, LOL, with their pundits now beginning to say the quiet part out loud. We're just going to have to do what Australia did. It's that simple. We can talk. Prayer's not enough. Jen Psaki's up there running her gator about prayer is not. You got Gavin Newsom defending her comments now. The children were literally praying in their pews, trying to defend Jen Psaki and her boneheaded, I'll just leave it at that, boneheaded comments. I won't get myself in trouble. But we're seeing the godless left. We're seeing the response now for cries for more guns or more gun control. And many of them are saying the quiet part out loud. We need to take them away. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, including handguns. Well, good luck with that. Come and take it. Stack up. You can get first in line. It's not going to happen. But, Paul, they're not stopping. They're getting louder and louder. And they're on the wrong side of the issue, but they're not stopping.
Well, it's time. It's been so far beyond time for us to go on the defensive. On the offensive, and call them out. Where are our courageous leaders? Where are our courageous leaders to stand out and say the Democrat Party is the party of Satan? End of story. The Democrat Party, they're worried about children. Are you kidding me? This is the party that sacrifices children to their satanic god. It's a ritual. It's a rite of passage. It's a sacrament to them. So ask Gavin Newsom. So it would have been okay to kill how many kids can you kill as long as they're only 8.5 months old? Ask that slimy piece of crap up in New York, the one who grinned ear to ear while his satanic minions stood around him as he signed the up to full birth the day of 9 months. They don't have any problem killing children when they're in the womb. Matter of fact, they smile about it. This is the party of Satan. And they're engaging in what I'm just going to go ahead and call terrorism by proxy. They send out their minions, whether they commanded them or they just instructed them through their propaganda. We talked about that on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The nonstop hatred that is spewed by this party of Satan. And then they want to run for cover and they want to disavow their own minions. No, sorry, not going to play that game. You own this. You bought, purchased, and own this monster. This monster is one of you. You can't pin this on us. And what's crazy is, well, it's not crazy. They start yakking about mental health. Oh, we need to be more caring, and we need to do more for people. It's like, are you kidding me?
Paul, isn't it
you
caring?
guys are
isn't it
the
caring to
party
say
of
you're
mental
sick?
illness.
Isn't it caring to say you're sick and you need treatment? Isn't that caring?
Yeah. They're the ones that have made mental illness a personal choice. You can't even, it used to be you could say, hey, that person has a mental illness. Now you're shamed into silence. Oh, who are you to say that? Because someone has been a man for however long. How old was Bruce Jenner when he had his mental breakdown? And instead of saying Bruce Jenner needs help, Bruce Jenner needs counseling, Bruce Jenner needs our help. No, they don't do that. He needs our affirmation.
Yeah. Well, let me
because they're cowards.
Let me affirm
they're
something here.
Despicable cowards.
Let's go overall crime here, and I've been looking forward to reading this with you. But Pritzker, this clown, this guy leading him and Tim Waltz, man, the two of these guys are a joke. But Pritzker puts a tweet out 2 days ago, and here's what he says: according to federal data, 13 of the top 20 cities in homicide rates have Republican governors. None of those cities are Chicago. 8 of the 10 top states in homicide rates are led by Republicans. None of those states are Illinois, and yet Trump is sending troops here. Now, let me read you a list, folks, and Paul, humor me here. Number 1, here's based on 2024 data, top 20 U.S. cities by homicide rate per 100,000. With the mayors, I'm going to name the mayor and their party, okay? Number 1, St. Louis, 54, this is per capita, 54.4 per 100,000. Kara Spencer, Democrat. New Orleans, Louisiana, 34.7. LaToya Cantrell, Democrat. Detroit, Michigan, number 3, 32.1. Democrat. Washington, D.C., 27.3. Bowser, Democrat. Number 5, Atlanta, 24.7. This is per capita out of 100,000, folks. Democrat. 6, Indianapolis, Indiana, 23.8. Democrat. Richmond, Virginia, 23.0. Democrat. Chicago, Illinois, number 8. Democrat. Compton, California, Democrat, number 9. Number 10, Oakland, California, Democrat. Number 11, Hartford, Democrat. Number 12, Rochester, New York, Democrat, 18. 13, Syracuse, New York, 15.2 per 100,000, Democrat. 14, Greensboro, North Carolina, 14.1%, Democrat. 15, Dallas, Texas, 14.0 per capita 100,000, Republican. 16, Buffalo, New York, 13.9, Democrat. Pittsburgh, PA, Democrat. Newark, New Jersey, 12.2 per 100,000, Democrat. Denver, Colorado, Democrat. Los Angeles, California, 7.1, Democrat. And I want to point out that if I'm not mistaken, the Republican in Dallas had recently flipped. Greg, maybe you can tell me this, from Democrat to Republican. Regardless, that's the top 20. Top 20. And we've pointed out time after time after time, it doesn't matter. It's the Democrat-run cities that are having these problems. It's that simple. Now, I want to read you some Chicago numbers quickly because we're talking about Pritzker. This is Chicago. Pritzker doesn't think Chicago has a problem. There have been 236 people year-to-date shot and killed in Chicago. Shot and wounded 1,071. Total shot in Chicago, Pritzker, 1,307. We're just slightly past half the year. Just this past weekend, in Chicago, 27 people wounded, 4 killed. That's just the weekend. When we come back from the break, we'll get Paul Markel's insight on that. Paul Markel, student of the gun, SOTGU.com. And by the way, he's been kind enough to provide you that AAR promo code. You can begin training and learning at home right away and take 15% off by visiting SOTGU.com and use the AAR promo code for 15% off. You can train right there in the comfort of your living room. We'll be back with Paul Markel, student of the gun, to go through these numbers right after the break. Don't go away. This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Yeah, attorneysonretainer.us. Attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Here's my card. Again, Attorneys on Retainer. It's right here. You can hear it on the table or you can see it on the camera. Attorneys on Retainer. It's the smartest thing you'll do today. 2 of them. Join the National Rifle Association while you're at it, then make the call over at Attorneys on Retainer and have yourself a team of self-defense lawyers in your hip pocket right now, because you've already accepted that evil exists. We've seen it countless times. It's real. You know it. That's why you carry a firearm. Be able to defend against the evil that will come after you for stopping real evil. It's that simple. No brainer. Attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. $50 off, $35 a month. $50 off, $25 a month per family member if you sign up a family like I did. All 4 of us at the Patriot Mobile AAR Ranch have attorneys on retainer. You can do the same thing. Just do it. It's one of those things you need to do. Paul Markel, student of the gun, welcome back. So I went through those numbers, and I do want to point something out. I was right about Johnson in Dallas. He was, in the first 5 years running Dallas, he was a Democrat. He just flipped to the Republican Party last year. Pretty astute political move, being in the red state of Texas, no doubt. Saw what was going on with Trump, I presume. No longer aligned with Democrat policies, but ran the city as a Democrat. So he's got a ways to go to prove his republicanism to me, conservatism and his conservative chops. But nonetheless, he's been a lifelong Democrat until just 2024. So, Paul, when you hear those numbers and you hear the top 20, and we know it's all Democrat, we know these things, and Pritzker knows it too, but they will look at you at midnight and tell you the sun is shining. Take it away.
No, they're the party of lies. They, folks, and that's where we have to, let me come to grips with this. All right, step number 1, we need to be like Australia. Okay, consume a satchel full of Richards. All right there. Why don't we just be like England, where they completely disarm their people? Now their little girls are being raped by immigrant monsters on a daily basis. There are a bunch of disarmed tax slaves, and their children are being raped by Muslim monsters. Oh, did you not see that? Oh, yeah, they know that. They know it. They know what happens. And there is no such thing as reasonable gun control. There is never, for that side, there will never be enough. It's just incremental until you are completely disarmed, till your children are disarmed, and they've got you where they want you.
Are you glad that they're saying some of the quiet part out loud like I am? I've been baiting them to say that for years. And this was a good example of what happened in Minneapolis. This guy had an AR-15. He had a Mossberg 590, if I'm not mistaken, shotgun. He had a pistol. Don't know the make of it. Doesn't matter. But he had all 3 weapons. He used all 3, and yet the left is screaming for banning the AR-15. So I guess they're okay with shotguns and murder. Shotguns being used to murder people. And I guess they're okay with handguns. They must be okay with handguns, because the vast majority of those top 20 cities that I just mentioned to you that are Democrat-run are people killing other people with handguns that are stolen. So I guess they're okay with that, Paul? Right? I think people are on to this. We're on to this.
Where are our leaders to stand up and say, we need to make murder illegal? When these people come out and spout their idiocy, we need to make murder illegal. And then, of course, they would respond to you that murder is illegal, but that's not enough. Why is it not enough? Why is it not enough for there to be a statute that says you cannot commit murder? Because I'll tell you why. Because
there's a biblical statute too, Paul.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'll tell you why. Because it's malum in se. Okay, do not steal from your neighbors. Do not lie to your neighbors. Do not commit rape. Do not commit murder. I suppose the aggravated assault falls under the don't commit murder one. There's a reason that they're not concerned with that. They're not concerned with it because malum in se rules don't give them power to control you. You and I were already not.
Explain malum in se and malum prohibitum for people
Malum
who might not know the
in
difference.
se is a moral wrong. It comes from thousands of years of Judeo-Christian. It's based on the Ten Commandments. And of course, if you're a scumbag, if you are, the party of Satan, like the Democrat Party is, you don't like that. As a matter of fact, if you're the party of Satan, you're more concerned about malum prohibitum. Malum prohibitum is just a bunch of men and women going in a room and voting on something and telling the peasants, we decided you're not allowed to do that.
Right. So, Paul, I have to ask, when Pritzker puts a tweet out like that, okay? And these people are evil, ladies and gentlemen. They are. When I read you his own words. I didn't make that up. You can check it out on X. If you don't have an account there and don't need one, I wouldn't recommend you do. But if you feel like it, go for it. Why can't somebody like Pritzker say, we do have a problem in Chicago, and we need to fix the problem in Chicago. What we've been doing isn't working. Forget politics. That's the whole operative statement, right? Forget politics.
Yeah.
They can't forget
it's
politics.
all about their power.
But
and the truth of the matter is, because terrorism and crime give them power. In their darkest of blackest hearts, they love when their minions go out and commit these horrible atrocities.
Well, that sounds
they
like
love
evil to
it.
me.
It's terrorism by proxy. They cannot wait to dance in the blood of the innocent. Witness their behavior. It's been less than 72 hours, and they're dancing in the blood of the innocent because terrorists and criminals give them the excuse to steal more power that they're not entitled to. And the reason that they don't talk about murder is because murder is malum in se, and you and I and everyone listening, except for that one guy, is not inclined to commit murder. So by them hammering on a murder statute, they have no power to change our lives. But when they create more, look, if you wanted to have some fun, take the malum in se statutes in your state and compare the book that is only malum in se, moral wrong, rape, robbery, murder, theft, okay, and then compare it to the malum prohibitum, all of the statutes where men and women have gone into a big room and come out and said, we've decided that this is how you have to live. We've decided this is how much money you have to give us. We've decided that you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that. And here is the tax schedule. We've decided how much money you owe us. It pales by comparison.
No, it pales by comparison because it's impossible to compare, and they know it. And look, Pritzker knows exactly what he's doing, okay, Paul? He knows.
It gives them power.
They all know. What they believe, and this is part of the evil here, is they believe you, ladies and gentlemen, are too stupid to figure out what we're talking about and exposing with Pritzker today, because the mainstream media is not going to do it. That's why we do it on this show, and we will do it repeatedly until it gets through to as many people as possible. We will never, ever, ever stop, just like they won't. And we're going to stay a step ahead of them. Paul, SOTGU.com, promo code AAR, 15% off, right? Got 10 seconds.
Yes, sir. Go and sign up for one of our distance learning home study classes right now. Start learning today.
I appreciate it. Paul Markel, student of the gun, the professor for a reason. Thank you, Paul, for your efforts here on Armed American Radio this week. We appreciate your insight. Guys, we're going to get up and do it again on Sunday on the Monster Cast, but right now I want you to stay safe, but enjoy your weekend and what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio on Sunday. Thanks for being here.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters. Presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, we're going to get up and do it again Sunday. Do like I'm going to do. Enjoy your weekend. I know Greg's going to do that, too. So start today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounded like Randy Savage. Remember Randy Savage?
Oh, yeah.
I used to love watching those guys back in the day. Man.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love those guys. All right, guys. Enjoy what's left of your day, whatever time you're listening to the program or the podcast. If you're listening to us right now or watching us on your screens, it's live. So enjoy your day. Stay very safe out there. Please carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside his cave without his club. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the Monster Cast on Sunday with the Dynamite lineup. Have a great weekend, folks. Thanks for being here.